Hello, good people. Thanks for joining us at Watch the Game podcast. I'm your man, L.A. Cheatham.
Benjamin Banneker, good people. Benjamin Banneker, good people. Feeling good. Hold on, wait. Let me get right. Hold on, let me get right because we got it. We got a game today. Hold on, let me get right. Like Shay do. Got one of them old miles. Got one of
Yeah,
them
yeah.
miles. Yeah, let me get right.
Well, I'm going to kick the show off right now. I'm going to send a shout out to my man, Lee Buck. Lee Buck and one of the men that's been blessed in the game. I had a chance to meet this guy a while back. My man, Pat the Designer. Pat is another big time Chicago. He was a YouTuber, but my man came up in the game. He got him a little spot with ESPN. So shout out to Pat the Designer. Big inspiration to what I'm doing and what we doing over here at Watch the Game. Um, we'd like for you guys to subscribe to the channel on YouTube, WTG Podcast on YouTube. Watch the videos and like the videos, and as we continue to put this work in, continue to grow. Pen, we got your Milwaukee, your Miami Heat are going into Boston for Game One, Eastern
Yeah,
Conference Finals. Last night, um, out in Denver, Denver got out big on the Lakers, and the Lakers had found a way to creep back into the game.
yep.
And before we step off into your matchup tonight, the matchup with your Heat and the Celtics, since we didn't have a chance to really, go live yesterday, I want to kind of touch on last night's game in the Western Conference, the opening game, Game One of Western Conference Finals. Denver uh, beating LA. I think the score was 132 to 126.
You are correct.
A lot of points scored in this game. Man, what's your thought on that game before I give you mine?
That was the first thought. Like 132, 126 in the conference finals. We supposed to be down to arguably the best four teams in the league, and they give up 132, 126. What's that? Damn near 260 points in the basketball game. That's my first takeaway was like, man, like it just seemed like it wasn't no defense being played to the fourth quarter, and I just don't like it. I just don't like it. It's just way too many points. That's my first takeaway. My second takeaway is we was texting back and forth last night during the game. And how did AD have 40 and 10 and Joker had 34 and 20? But it seemed like he totally outplayed AD. Like it was the most quiet 40 points I think I've ever seen in my life. Like they was not really impactful. Uh Denver should be ashamed for letting the Lakers get back in that game because they was up 21 points with 5 minutes and 21 seconds to go. And that game got down to a possession lead. LeBron took a bailout three, which we can get off into that. He took a bailout three, which he did not need at that time with 45 seconds left. Or that game could go totally different way. I think if the Lakers would have won that game last night, this would have been a very short series. However, but because, Lakers lost, I feel like the Lakers got more experience. They've been there. LeBron got 4 championships. How many finals he done been to? 10, 11. AD got a championship. They got a lot of playoff experience, minus the head coach, minus Darvin Ham. I just don't think that loss is going to phase them too much. So I still expect it to be 1-1 after game 2. You probably see Denver just be satisfied with getting a split. So, but yeah, just the points was my main takeaway. 132, 126 in game 1 of the conference finals. And this is supposed to be the best we have to offer as NBA basketball.
Well, in my opinion, it was a tale of two different halves. Um, Denver came out. They just pretty much just ran right past the Lakers. Scored about 73 points in the first half. It's a lot of damn points to give up in the first half. 73 points in the first half, man. And as much as they want to talk about 3-point shooting and stuff like that, they don't talk about the telling stat when the Lakers play. And the telling stat for me is free throw shooting comparison. Now, in the first half, at the end of the first half, the Lakers were 5 or 6 from the free throw line. Like I said, they gave up 73 points in the first half. Jokic hit that big three to go in the locker room. I think it was 73 points in the first half. So 5 or 6 from the free throw line. And I think in the second half, the Lakers got back in the game. They shot 20 free throws.
Yeah.
At the end of the night, I think they were 23 for 26 from the free throw line. Like I said, they could continue talking about 3-point shooting all they want. But when you talk about the Lakers, you got to talk about how many free throw attempts, how many they take, and how many they make in comparison to like the last series, the Golden State Warriors, or in this series, the Denver Nuggets. And if you're a Laker fan, even though the Lakers are down 0-1, that third and fourth quarter should have you walking away from this game feeling pretty good about game two. Because one thing that the Lakers were able to get established was just the fact we can get to the foul line. And if they're going to get to the foul line like they did against Golden State, the Lakers have a chance to win. Now, if Denver can find a way to make the Lakers hit shots without fouling, I think it favors Denver because Denver gets the ball off the glass, and no matter who gets the rebound, they can run. It don't matter
Yeah.
who gets the rebound, they can run. And you could pretty much say the same thing with the Lakers, but with the Lakers, they in the first half they just did a horrible job of getting back on defense.
Yeah, that's when we thought it was gonna be low managed basketball. Lakers coming off of the 6 games. Well, they both went 6 games in the last round, but I think the Lakers series finished after Denver series. So Lakers the older team, especially you got to look at LeBron. I'm thinking like, all right, he gonna load manage this one and just coast it through, kind of feel him out. And then game two, they'll really try and he'll really try and put his imprint on the game. I think Denver might be a little deeper when you talk about guys that can put the ball in the basket, can make plays for other guys. I got to give Bruce Brown so much props because I thought he was just a hustle guy when he was in Brooklyn. This dude actually got some game, and him coming in off of the bench, providing a scoring punch. They got Braun, the little guard, number 0. He come in, he'll hit some timely shots. Then you got Michael Porter Jr., who plays very well at home. Now, it remains to be seen what he's going to do on the road. Aaron Gordon has been a valuable piece. Jokic and Jamal Murray doing their thing. That's a consistent 1-2 punch. I think they might be a little bit deeper than the Lakers, considering we don't know what we're going to get from AD night in and night out. Like I said, when I looked at the box score, I said, he had 40? I promise you, I do not remember him scoring the ball 40 times. I mean, getting 40 points.
Well, it comes down to this. It was a pace of the game. In that pace, when you're not calling a lot of fouls, Anthony Davis, when you run in pace, and if he just runs rim to rim, he's capable of putting it up every night. But if you're gonna like force him to play defense on the other end, and if you're gonna force him to do some other things, then maybe not so much. But like you said, it seemed like empty calories in the first half, and then the Lakers found a way to get back in the second half. The role players,
Austin
Reeves and
Reeves.
Austin, they started to make shots and make plays and stuff like this, and then they, like I said, you can't ignore it. They got to the foul line. They shot 20 free throws. And when you talk about the Lakers, they have to get to the line because if they just gonna go based on field goal percentage, then Anthony Davis has to strive in those situations. You either have to make shots or Anthony Davis has to do what he did last night. And then they were talking about how do you stop Joker? How do you stop this guy? I'm like, it's real simple. That's the difference between today's NBA and the NBA that we grew up on. If a guy's killing you on the offensive end, you must make him play defense. It's not that hard. Now, I don't know how many rebounds, how many block shots he had last night, but you have to make him do those things. And for Anthony Davis to put out those type of numbers, he's going to have to do that more times than not, even more so than LeBron. LeBron is just the leader. He's going to get his points. He's going to pace himself. And I'm starting to figure out that LeBron's doing a much better job. I got to give him credit. He's doing a much better job of playing off the other four guys around him,
Yep.
as opposed to trying to force them in a system where all they can really do is catch and shoot. These guys in position where they can handle the ball. When you talk about guys like D'Lo, and then you talk about Schroeder, Austin Reeves, they have the ability to hit shots and can sometimes even create their own shot. This gives LeBron the opportunity to kind of, let them do their thing, let them get established. And typical for us, the big guys, the big names, the superstars, they show up in the last 3 to 5 minutes of the game. Now LeBron didn't do so great in those last 3 to 5, but the role players did their job. They got back in the game. You talked about Denver. Caldwell Pope had a hell of a game.
I didn't even
Uh,
mention him. Yeah.
hey, Jamal Murray, he had 31 points himself.
Yep.
I don't know. Well, Joker should have had 50 last night. He really should have came out of that game with 50. But due to the fact Caldwell Pope stepped up and Gordon 12 points, all five starters won double figures. Aaron Gordon with 12, Michael Porter Jr. with 15 and 10 rebounds. Jokic with his 34 and 21, 14 assists, 14 assists from the center position. And then Caldwell Pope probably really motivated to play against the Lakers.
Yeah.
And one thing I seen with Caldwell Pope, he took the mid range.
Yeah, especially in that third quarter. Yeah, especially in the third quarter. And that's, you just read off Joker's stat line: 34, 21, 14, 12 of 17 from the field, hit 3 of 3 from the three, and only missed one free throw. He shot 8 free throws, hit 7. AD, like I said, 40, 10, and 3. Maybe it was the assist that just kind of dwarfed the assist that the Joker had, that just kind of dwarfed it for me. That made it look like AD didn't really have that great of a game. Statistically, he did, but yeah. And then, like, you didn't even mention Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown had 16 off the bench. 16 off
You
the
mentioned
bench.
you mentioned Bruce Brown earlier. I didn't get a chance to look at his stat line, but you're exactly right. I didn't say anything about even Brown, the kid from Kansas.
Yeah,
Uh he had some plays where he didn't even score in this game, but
right.
defensively is where he made his impact.
That's what
He
I was
played
saying.
real
Yeah,
good help side defense. I think at one point in time he had I don't know who shot he blocked, but he had a real good block that kind of pushed the pace. They were able to get out on the break. Um, in
like I
these
feel,
games,
like
go ahead.
I feel like he, Lonnie Walker is kind of emerging a little bit for the Lakers, but I feel like Braun, who didn't even score, outplayed Lonnie Walker, and Lonnie Walker had 6 points. He got some baskets, but Braun just being on the floor just seemed more impactful. So I think
I
Denver
mean,
just a
they
little
had
bit deep.
enough scoring to go around. You make a
Yeah,
couple stops, you make a couple key deflections to get the pace, to give your team an opportunity to either go get a layup, go get a dunk, go get more points. And I mean, his job was to get stops last night. I don't know what he was from the field. I'm pretty sure he took a few shots, but um, the time I seen him, he was very effective. Now, last night, I didn't really get a chance to see this game after midway through the third quarter because I ended up going to work. So, uh, the one thing that stood out to me that changed the pace of that game a little bit. I don't know how much this went on throughout the night for Denver Nuggets, but Aaron Gordon was running the offense from time to time. And I'm like, that's not a good look. I
yeah.
mean, and
Did
go
you see
ahead.
it? Did you see it at the beginning of the third quarter? After they coming
Yeah,
out the halftime, he brought it up
yeah,
and he
that's what I'm
dribbled the
saying.
ball
I'm like,
down.
why
Yeah,
is he bringing the ball up the court? Why is he bringing it up? Now, to our credit, we don't want. I can't honestly say I've seen a lot of. Denver Nuggets basketball. The simple fact that it's the Western Conference Finals and they're going up against LeBron and the Lakers. I mean, that brings my interest up a little bit more when it comes down to the Denver Nuggets. But last night was the first time I really keyed in on them in the first half because some of the things they did to Phoenix, I was just so disappointed in Phoenix at time to time. I couldn't stay
Yeah,
locked in on the games. But this game being game one, I wanted to be okay. Where are the matchups? And then getting ready for game two, where will the adjustments be? Now, like you said, you expecting the Lakers to win game two.
yep, yeah. Not, I mean, mm, about more than 7, 8 points. I don't even think it's relatively gonna be close. They probably gonna get a friendly whistle again because this is something we talk about all the time during the text message. You know, the Disney plot might be in the Disney script.
Hey, we already got the bubble rematches that the whole I mean all across social media or all kind of a lot of different platforms. That's all they talking about. The rematch of the bubble, and that's exactly what we got right now. The rematch of the bubble. Now, when it comes to Denver, I think the game two is a must. You know how we had these situations. This is a must win. Yes, this
Yeah,
is a must win game. Game two, game one is in the books, but game two is a must win situation for Denver. This is the reason why. LeBron's experience in the playoffs. LeBron get a split no matter how it happens. All he has to do is get a split. And if he can go out there and play with guys like doing their thing and he can kind of like save himself for when it really, really matters in the late stages of the game, you can't bet against LeBron in them situations. You know, you cannot bet against LeBron in them situations. So this game right here, game two, I think it'll be played what tomorrow night.
Thursday
That's a
night. Yeah,
must win for Denver. So Denver has to win this game. And looking
they
at the way, go ahead.
yeah. If they serious about making the NBA Finals, they need to go to LA up 2-0. I don't think it's going to happen, but you just got to think role players are going to play better at home. So the Lonnie Walkers, the Austin Reeves, even Austin Reeves, I think he's a pretty legit NBA player. He's going to play better at home. Austin Reeves going to play better. Schroeder is going to play better. Like there's a lot of guys on the Lakers team that didn't, like Jared Vanderbilt didn't score yesterday. You got to think he's going to play better when they at what they at Crypto Staples, whatever it's called now. Yeah,
Crypto.com arena. Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
you got to think they're gonna be able to play better. And when you add that on with LeBron's playoff experience, it's easy to see that series coming back 2-2. Let's make it a best of three. You got 2 games on your home floor. You got to be feeling good about it then. But if you don't, if this thing leaves Denver to Mile High City with a split, I feel very, very worried for the Denver Nuggets because I could easily see them going down 3-1, probably winning game 5, and then getting closed out in 6.
Yeah, that's why I say game two is a must win for Denver. They don't have the experience to play with this thing. They need to get it on, get it over with. The one weakness I see with Denver going into the rest of this series is they have to protect the basketball. They have to play without fouling. Now, seeing Aaron Gordon run the offense early in the second half didn't look too impressive to me. And I think if that's the case, if you're gonna take Jamal Murray off the ball, and if it's not Jokic, operating from the high post, you better find somebody else to bring the ball up the court because he didn't look too good last night. And I understand that you're gonna want to spell a Murray from time to time, and and distribute those opportunities and possessions to somebody else to facilitate the offense. But Aaron Gordon didn't look too good at it last night. I'm
No,
just
no,
being flat out honest.
yeah. Especially they came out and put that pressure on him, and he had that turnover. I was like, man, this dude don't even look like he's capable of playing this point forward position. What I would do if I was Mike Malone, you got Jamal Murray, let him kind of run the show in the first half. him and Joker switch off. And again, as I said, Bruce Brown has some offensive skills. Let him spell some guys. When they need a break, let him bring the ball up the court. But that Aaron Gordon experiment, if the Lakers coaching staff is paying attention, 94 feet. Because I don't think he can consistently bring this ball up the court in enough time so we can get into a good offense and make the correct decisions and handle the ball versus pressure. So if I'm the Lakers, that's one of the adjustments I'm gonna make.
Yeah, 'cause it looks like when he does that, they're looking to get Murray off of like a pin down from
Yeah,
time to time. And if he can't bring the damn ball up the floor, I question if he can even make the correct pass or make the correct read.
yeah.
Because I mean, he pretty much played kickball on the very first possession of the third quarter, bringing the ball up court. And at this time, I was getting ready to walk out the house. I'm like, no, that don't look too good. You better get this dude off the ball. So I think that's one of the adjustments that they're going to have to make from game one to game two. Is either he has to do a better job of doing it. Maybe that's something he did in the regular season, or either he has to do a better job of doing it, or they got to find somebody else to spell Murray with the ball handling so that Murray can have an opportunity to move around and make shots and maybe even shoot a few more free throws by attacking the basket. But I was impressed with Denver. I was impressed with the Lakers. You just cannot allow the Lakers to shoot free throws, and you just cannot allow any LeBron team, to come back the way they did. Down 21 at one point, got it down to like close to 3. And I think when LeBron took
Two,
that
three.
shot,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, you asked me about that shot. You text me, man, what you think? And I didn't see the shot at the time, but I did see the shot in the highlights this morning. And I was like, at that time, I think LeBron was looking for a moment, like the crowning moment, like this gonna look good on Sports Center. And it's just, and he took the damn shot. And don't get me wrong, had it went in, they'd have been praising LeBron, but it didn't go in. So instead of him being LeBron, he was LeBlame. And pretty much that's what it came down to. But must win for Denver tomorrow night. To kind of go
yeah,
ahead. Go ahead.
before we move on, just on the fashion police note,
Okay.
Denver don't need to wear them uniforms no more. Them uniforms are terrible.
That's a fun fact. I'm gonna be honest with you. In the regular season, it's 82 games. Both teams, every team get 41 home games, so you can flip flop the uniforms from time to time.
Yes.
But for me, and I think for you, I think we're more so traditionals. I think I kind of like to see the home team, wear the white jerseys and stuff like that. And I want to see the Lakers wear the gold at home. Traditionally,
Yeah.
especially when you talk about teams like the Lakers and the Celtics. Like tonight, if the Celtics go out there in the road greens, I'm gonna be very much so disappointed. I'm just,
I feel like they're gonna wear the black tonight because they had the road greens on in game 7. I was like, what? It
you
just
don't
don't work.
allow
Yeah.
if you're the Boston Celtics, you don't allow the 76ers. Traditionally, I don't know any other team in the East that's the biggest rivalry in the Eastern Conference basketball is Celtics Sixers. You do not let the Sixers come into your gym wearing their home jerseys.
Yeah.
That you just don't do it. You just don't do it. So now we that kind of takes us into this next matchup with the Miami Heat. We got a few minutes before we jump off, and the Heat, your Heat, Jimmy Butler done already posted on Instagram. He said, "Hey, here I am. But I don't know if you've seen it, but he said, hey, I am Boston. I'm ready. I'm
Yeah.
thirsty." You know what I'm saying? So Jimmy's motivated, and who can forget how this series ended in the Eastern Conference Finals last year with Jimmy Butler opting to take that, in my opinion, that bad shot. I thought he should have attacked the rim, took the layup or the dunk, whatever he could get, go into overtime. But he opted to take the three, missed the three. Game 7. The team had fought so hard to get back into that game in the last 5 minutes, and Jimmy put it all on the line from the top of the key with a three, missed it. Boston goes to NBA Finals to face the Warriors. So
Yeah.
tonight, I know your heart is, banking on the Heat, and I can understand. I'm gonna shout out my man Lee Buck again. Lee Buck, that's his team. So you going against Lee Buck tonight? That's Lee Buck's team, man. EC Lee.
Boston.
Yeah, that's his team, man, and he ain't a bandwagon guy. As long as I knew this guy, he's been he's been through the pits with Boston. So I got to give it to him. I think he had his number 44 jersey. So number 44, my man Lee Buck, just your Celtics and your Heat.
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
Celtics against your Heat tonight. So you know
Yeah, man.
what you
Listen,
got.
I'm against Buck. My homegirl Jessica. She's a big Celtics fan. We've been on Twitter like, you the ops today. Like it's we can't talk for 2 weeks and stuff. Um, my heart is telling me Miami just ain't deep enough. They don't have enough people that can score
Yeah.
to overcome this deficit that they facing versus the Boston Celtics. But if you look at last year's series, Tyler Hero pulled his hamstring. He was out. Kyle Lowry was not a factor because he was really banged up. So they kind of going into the series with the same exact team minus PJ Tucker, but they added Kevin Love. There's no Oladipo there this year because Oladipo played some great defense on Jaylen Brown last year. But again, just looking at the run, again, we lost Tyler Hero the first game of the playoffs. I wouldn't think that they was deep enough to beat the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, Giannis missed 2 games, but they still won that series in 5 games. Okay? Then they come and play the Knicks. I didn't think they was deep enough to beat the Knicks just to get enough scoring because we talk about this all the time. Julius Randle was all third-team NBA. I don't know how. Lowest basketball IQ in the league for me, but that's another day, another topic. Jalen Brunson, RJ Barrett was coming into his own, topping and learn how to stretch the floor and shoot the 3. Plus, he can, he gonna get some dunks. Mitchell Robinson, good stick back cleanup man, clean the board. I did not think they was gonna be able to beat the Knicks. They beat the Knicks in 6 games. Here we are
Well,
coming into Boston to the TD Garden. Jason Tatum was rolling last game. Jaylen Brown, I really want Jaylen Brown in Miami. What's the Williams kid? Number 44. They got Derek White. I mean, this team is deep. The one edge I do think that we have is Coach Spo, and I'm gonna keep ringing this bell. He still ain't got no coach of the year. The coaching staff, the Miami coaching staff got the advantage. But as far as the players, I gotta tip my hat to the Celtics. I think Miami gonna probably lose this one tonight, but I'm hoping for the best.
Well, when you talk about the first 2 series that Miami Heat, first of all, we can touch on the fact that the Lakers coming out of the play-in game in the 7th with the 7th seed in the West, and then the Western Conference Finals, and Miami coming out of the play-in game in the East. They're number 8, right?
Yep.
They're number 8 seed. So we got some history going down. So Miami, and the Lakers coming out of the play-in game. So the first 2 series, I think Jimmy just wanted it more in the first 2 series, and a lot of and then his teammates kind of jumped on his back and he carried him over the hump. But in this one, all those guys you name uh gonna have to play a much bigger part, and it's gonna have to happen very early in this series. Um Jimmy, we know Jimmy's gonna come to play, barring injury. Jimmy has a tendency. He plays so hard, man. He has a tendency to play very well and get banged up in series. It just seems like he
Yeah.
always have a little some little minor injury. If he can stay away from that, just stay available and continue to be who he is and play hard, it's gonna come down to your man Bam Adebayo.
Took the
It's
words
gonna
out of
come
my
down
mouth.
to Bam Adebayo and their ability to make shots. You know what I'm saying? And their ability to defend the 3-point line when it comes to Boston. And I think when you talk about the 3-point line, it's Al Horford. You know what I'm saying? If he's gonna be able to stick that shot, Bam Adebayo has a hell of a task on his hand. He's already undersized, but I think both of them kind of match up in the size factor. I think Bam is like 6'9". I think Al is like 6'10". Al might have a few pounds on him, but considering what Al Horford was able to do with Joel Embiid, I gotta give the nod to Boston in that matchup. But in order for Miami to win in this series, they're gonna need a lot more than just Jimmy Butler. They got to make shots along with
Yep.
Boston because Boston has the ability to make a lot of threes. So I don't see them giving up a lot of paint points. I think Miami's pretty good at defending the rim and help defense, but it's the ability to get out and cover the perimeter, especially when you talk about when you got Horford out stepping out hitting that three. That's a tough matchup. So uh I'm gonna make a prediction tonight, and I'm gonna just say I think Boston gonna win this one. I,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm with you. I probably would like to see Jimmy win. If I had to pick a team that I would like to see win the championship,
Yeah.
I would say I want to see Jimmy win a championship. So
Yeah.
as long as Jimmy is in it, I'm gonna root for Jimmy. But that's where my heart is. I'm not a Miami Heat fan, but um, I mean, if I had to pick a dog in the fight, that's what I'm gonna go with. But I just don't feel good about matching up when you talk about perimeter shooting to come to Boston and just Horford gonna be the X factor in this. Jason Tatum, don't get me wrong, Jalen Brown, they gonna do their thing, but Horford is just how he defends and how he stretches the floor is gonna be big in this series.
Jimmy, I think in the first round versus Milwaukee, I think he averaged like 37 points a game or something like that. We gonna need that. We gonna need that. Plus other guys making shots. I'm gonna need Kevin Love to hit shots. I'm gonna need Gabe Vincent, who I was calling for to start all last year over Kyle Lowry. Now he's in the starting role and he's kind of letting me down. I'm gonna need him to make shots. I'm gonna need Strus to make shots. And then Bam gotta go. I don't know his playoff average, but Bam need to be close to like 25 a game and over 13 boards a game. And give me 3 or 4 blocks. That's what I
Yeah.
need for Bam for Miami to really feel like Miami really got a chance to win this thing. I think
Yeah.
Miami is probably got the longest odds to win the championship out of the 4 teams left. Because you got to, I mean, just looking at the rosters of each team, Miami ain't better than none of them on paper.
No.
Uh, but if Jason Tatum, he's had some inconsistencies. He had that game 6 versus the Sixers. He showed up. He hit 4 shots in the fourth quarter, but there was a big 4 shots. But if we get some off games versus Jason Tatum, you got to take advantage of them. You got to close them games out. You got to win. It can't be Jason Tatum getting 35. It can't be Jaylen Brown with 28. And then you can't give up another 15 or so to Al Horford and him hitting timely big threes. Well, it'll probably be a gentleman's sweep over in 5.
That's what I was gonna touch on. When you talk about Boston, they beat Atlanta
And
in
6.
in Gary in the first round.
Yeah.
And then they beat the Sixers. And they kind of let Atlanta hang around too long. And they fell behind the Sixers. So that can spell disaster with the Heat because
Yeah.
of the Jimmy Butler factor. I mean, Boston, this is a must-win game for Boston. It's very much so a must-win game for Boston because you let Jimmy Butler, the Miami Heat, and I'm not gonna say without the championship experience uh that LeBron has, but I like to put Jimmy Butler in that same kill shot position. If you get him in a situation where he could, kind of just have the advantage, he's going to find a way to win. the
Yes.
game or the series. Now, last year he blew that opportunity. I don't think that's going to happen. If you get that same opportunity this year, I don't think Jamie's going to blow it. So the opportunity that the Celtics allowed Atlanta to have, can't give it to the Heat. The opportunity they gave the Sixers, can't give it to the Heat because Jimmy's going to be a fact at that point. And sometimes when Jimmy turns it up another level, Bam can kind of, be the caboose and get him, and get him over the hump. But big game for Boston. They got to win tonight.
Miami has won every game one of the playoffs so far. They beat Milwaukee. They beat New York. Both of these games are on the road, so this ain't nothing new for them. Uh, and Boston just lost game one at home to the Sixers. They was down twice in
Yeah,
that series, 1-0, and then weren't they down 3-2? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And they can't afford to have that happen because if that happens with the Heat, we will not see Game 7.
Oh no, no.
This won't go 7 games. If this thing goes 7, I'm going with Boston. But I believe for the Heat to win, it would be in 6. It would
Yep.
be in 6. So big game for Boston tonight. But before we go off tonight, I had the opportunity before we went on tonight, man. I caught myself checking out a little bit of the NBA combine scrimmage, and it's happening fast. They had the NBA draft lottery last night. San Antonio winning the first pick in the draft, and they had the opportunity to draft Victor Wembanyama. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I think we spoke on Victor Wembanyama a few times on the pod, but the NBA is doing a great job of setting up the next 5 to 10 years. And I'm not big on hyping up guys coming out of college. I don't care if it's NFL, NBA. I'm just not big on it.
Yeah.
But the NBA has done a tremendous job of selling Victor Wembanyama to the American public. The reason why I say this is because the NCAA, we talk about kids like Brandon Miller.
That's my
We
guy.
had a, we had an opportunity to watch Brandon Miller from wire to wire. Okay, I don't know if the American public has seen a lot of Victor Wembanyama. I know from time to time you can catch his games on NBA TV. They may give you an opportunity to see him from time to time. I know I haven't seen a lot of them. I've seen a lot of highlights, and I think from time to time you can go to YouTube and watch a game. But I'm not big on the hype. And for a guy that I know me personally, I haven't seen a lot of them, but I've seen way more of Brandon Miller than I
Hmm.
have of Victor Wembanyama. So they've done a great job of selling this guy. And you know who I blame for this? Michael Jeffrey Jordan. I blame Mike for this because Magic, Magic and Bird, they've been given the credit for saving the league. The league's image wasn't all that great, and they came in as rookies out of the national championship game in 1979 and came on. Magic won his first championship as a rookie. And then the next year in 1980, Magic won. And then in 1981, I think Larry Bird won the championship. But what that did was that kind of shifted the NBA to a positive light, and a lot of the bad image they had was able to market these two young stars along with Dr. J and Kareem, and they were able to kind of clean things up as as the league grew into this portion of the NBA that we know now. But the reason why I blame Mike for this is because once Magic and Bird and the Doc and Kareem. Once the image was cleaned up to a degree where a guy like Mike can come into the league, they never saw Mike coming. Mike was the national player of the year, but the game was different.
Right.
He was a two guard. He was a scoring guard, and they were like, you got to win with the big man. But ever since the popularity of Michael Jordan, they've been looking for the next one. And
Mm-hmm.
then we had Kobe. Everybody was compared to Mike. I mean, Mike, Harold Miner.
Vince Carter.
I
Keep
mean,
going.
they kept trying to sell us somebody, and Kobe came close to Mike. And then was LeBron.
Yep.
We've been watching LeBron for 20 years. We had the opportunity to watch LeBron. LeBron was probably one of the first players in history that we were able to watch his basketball games exclusively as he prepared to get ready for the NBA draft. And now here's Victor Wembanyama.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not buying it because I'm a 3-year guy. I need him to go in. I need him to show and improve. That's all I got. Hey, Boston, big win. They need a big game tonight. Shout out Lee Buck. Shout out Pat the Designer once again. My man Pat then picked up the Chicago Bears podcast on ESPN 1000. And you know what? At one point in time, he was doing it just like us. The
Yeah.
dude done put in a lot of work, man. Big shout out to him. Big shout out to my man Lee Buck, my man Span, and my man Five. We got to get Five. I keep talking about Five. We got to get him on the show. I'm done, man. Watch the game podcast. What you got?
Man. What I got, like I said, just Miami Heat tonight. We're gonna see how that shake out. I'm with you on the Victor. I can't even say his last name, Victor Dub.
Wembanyama. If you're looking for a nickname, they call him Wami.
Wami. Okay, I'm with you
Yeah.
on Wami. All the highlights I done seen, I'm just like, yo, he gonna have to show me in the league because I ain't seen it yet. Like, I think he's too frail. I don't think he got an NBA body yet. I don't know what that length is gonna do. Brandon Miller's my guy. So I'm cheering for him. They looking like he gonna get drafted by the Hornets second. Not probably the best place for him to be.
I'm gonna put it to you like this: as long as Michael Jordan owns that franchise and has a part to play in that franchise, he's already got LaMelo Ball there. So might not be a bad fit for a guy like Brandon Miller because he can play off the ball with LaMelo, finish at the rim, make shots.
Hey, I'm gonna be watching. That's the guy I'll be watching the summer league. I think his game is a lot like Paul George. I like Paul George's good game. It's real smooth. So anyway, we gonna see. Watch the game podcast. Benjamin Banneker signing out. I hope the Heat win tonight, and I hope y'all here to talk about it with us next time. We go.